Y'all remember this video and its subsequent fallout?
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Bill Maher is in full wrecking ball mode once again.
Subsequent fallout, I think
his target is CNN's top journalist, Karoline Leavitt.
According to Donald Trump,
made a little misstep during her appearance on Maher's show.
That's what it is I want to be.
And, well,
clear though it's not her first job,
didn't hold back. He tore into her so hard that the echoes are still rattling in the woke community all across the states. So, what did Karoline Leavitt say to send Bill Maher into full savage mode? And what was his epic takedown that left woke culture reeling? Buckle up, folks. We've got all the drama, the tension, and the fiery smackdowns right here. Grab your popcorn because you're about to witness an absolute obliteration.
Let's get right into it.
CNN journalist Karoline Leavitt recently made the bold decision to appear as a guest on Real Time with Bill Maher. And let's just say, it was a disaster of epic proportions. Karoline couldn't seem to muster a single sane argument to back up her opinions. It was one debacle after another. Her answers were as scattered as a toddler's coloring book. Her posturing was absolutely off, and her statements, well, coherent was a word that clearly hadn't made the guest list for the evening. Fans were left wondering if Karoline even realized what platform she'd stumbled onto. And, more importantly, if she understood that Bill Maher is allergic to woke nonsense. Spoiler alert, he wasn't having it. What ensued was a train wreck of awkward silences, eye rolls, and a whole lot of did she just say that moments. It wasn't just uncomfortable for Karoline. It was uncomfortable for anyone with a functioning sense of logic. So, what went wrong? Oh, just about everything. Here's where it got really interesting. Karoline Leavitt started waxing lyrical about Kamala Harris's speech like it was the second coming of Churchill. The usual. It sounded a lot like the same sugary sweet rhetoric that CNN's panel was pushing during the rally. Because why wouldn't they? But Bill Maher, ever the truth teller, didn't let that slide for a second. He quickly pointed out the glaring hypocrisy because, let's face it, if CNN were any more biased, it would be endorsed by the Democratic National Committee. CNN loves to parade around like it's the bastion of impartiality, pretending to give fair coverage to both political parties like a perfectly balanced scale. But in reality, their version of balance would make even Biden look like a centrist. They are more left-leaning than a yoga instructor on a beanbag chair. And Bill Maher wasn't about to let Karoline pretend that wasn't glaringly obvious. So, here's the setup. Bill Maher, being the ever-gracious host, asks Karoline for her take on CNN's alleged impartiality, just to give her a chance to clear the air and maybe, just maybe, show that the network isn't completely in the tank for one side. Bill, being the good guy he is, wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt before dropping the real questions. And this, folks, is why everyone loves Bill Maher. He doesn't just attack people because he's got the sharpest wit and a knack for skewering anyone who walks into his arena. No, he gives them space to present their case first, like a kindly lion letting its prey run for a bit before unleashing a trademark salvo. Now, note Kateline's answer. Karoline, with the confidence of someone who's clearly been drinking the CNN Kool-Aid, answered by claiming that CNN is, in fact, an impartial platform catering to both political ideologies. Oh, really? She went on to name-drop a couple of token appearances, Ted Cruz and Elizabeth Warren. Like that somehow proves CNN's even-handedness. We've had them both on the show, she insisted, as if this is the gold standard of impartiality. Next, she doubled down, claiming that CNN presses politicians on both sides equally and doesn't play favorites. Sure, Karoline. Sure. Now, anyone who's watched CNN for more than 5 minutes knows that what she's spitting out is about as truthful as a politician's campaign promise. It's as if she's trying to convince everyone that the network, known for its enthusiastic coverage of anything left-leaning, is suddenly the impartial judge of political debates. Cue Bill Maher, who's about to blow up this little fantasy. He's got that classic, oh honey, bless your heart look, knowing full well he's about to expose these as blatant lies. And if there's one thing Maher loves, it's taking down delusions with a side of sarcasm. It was only a matter of time before Kateline's little fairy tale got smashed to pieces. Bill Maher obliterates Kateline's initial statements by methodically exposing the hypocrisy embedded in them. He points out how, during CNN's coverage of Kamala Harris's rally, Scott Jennings, The conservative on the panel was hilariously outnumbered. It's no wonder Mayer nicknamed him Lonely Scott. Watching that panel was like watching a debate where one person gets handed a squirt gun while the other side is fully armed with flamethrowers.
With Congresswoman
the imbalance
Nancy
was
Maher
striking,
last March,
and Mayer didn't miss the opportunity to compare CNN to The View, where the token conservative exists solely to make the liberals look even more self-righteous. It's a setup, with four woke liberals against one lone conservative who looks like they are rethinking their entire career choice mid-debate. CNN's version of impartiality, letting the conservative talk just long enough to get interrupted and drowned out. Caitlin's defense of such a setup crumbled faster than a cheap folding chair under Mayer's scrutiny.
Ignorance and
the hypocrisy was palpable, and Mayer made sure everyone could see it.
Let's be real, if a Republican had dared to suggest a woman's success was purely based on her looks, Joy, and her view, co-hosts would have been on a warpath, complete with dramatic gasps and calls for immediate cancellation. But when Joy does it, oh, it's just edgy humor or taken out of context. Funny how that works. If hypocrisy were an art form, The View would be hanging in the L. Bear and company don't just move goalposts, they bulldoze them. It's almost impressive how they can twist logic into pretzels when it suits their agenda. However, not everyone would be bemused by their shenanigans, such as conservative commentator Michael Knowles. Too far. What's Bayer saying? She only got that job cause she's hot. That actually isn't true. She's a very nice looking lady, but it isn't true that that's why she got the job. She got the job because she was the national spokesman for the campaign, and she did a very good job in that role, and the campaign was hugely successful and communicated very effectively. That is why she got the job. Even if Karoline Leavitt weren't a pretty lady, even if she were a male gremlin monstrous looking fellow, she still would have gotten the job based on how effective the campaign communications. Michael explains that Karoline Leavitt didn't land her job because of a lucky lottery ticket. She earned it. She proved beyond all reasonable doubt that she was just qualified, but overqualified. This isn't some participation trophy situation. Leavitt was the press secretary for Trump's campaign and ran the operation like a well-oiled machine, helping pave the way for his return to power. Her resume isn't just impressive, it practically needs its own zip code. Intelligence check, experience check, work ethic off the charts. If credentials could talk, hers would be delivering a TED Talk on competence. Meanwhile, the View's finest are out here acting like she won the position in a beauty pageant. Sorry ladies, this wasn't a swimsuit competition, it was a battle of brains. And Leavitt walked away with the crown. Michael was spot on with his assessment of the situation, but he wasn't done yet. Furthermore, Karoline Leavitt ran for
Congress. I was talking to Roger Stone about this when we were trying to figure out who the picks for the administration were going to be. He said, I think Litt's going to get the White House press sect job. I think she earned the job, and I like that she has been in the fire. She's run for office, so she's taken slings and arrows that go with being in the active campaign politics. That's why she got the job. Karoline didn't just bring knowledge to the table, she practically built the table. Not only did she run for Congress, proving she wasn't afraid to get in the trenches, but she was also an active force in the party. Long before stepping into the press secretary role, she didn't waltz into the job because of a lucky break or a well-placed connection. She earned it the old-fashioned way through grit, hard work, and dare we say actual merit. A con that seems foreign to some in mainstream media, while others climbed the political ladder using media fluff and social circles. Leavitt bulldozed her way through with experience and results. Her resume didn't need embellishing, and she certainly didn't need a daytime talk show's approval to prove her worth. Not to be outdone by Joy Behar. Whoopi Goldberg also added her voice to the mountain of obscenities. I would like this young lady, whose this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework, because She said something yesterday it really pissed me off, and that was she said, "There will be no wokeness here, oh yeah." Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness you might not have that job, yeah. Because women were not invited to that table, women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we're fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this, and now to hear you talk about it, and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. So folks, you heard it straight from the source. Whoopi Goldberg isn't just admitting that wokeness exists on the left, she's practically handing out the membership cards, and guess what, there is an agenda. Turns out it's not just a fever dream cooked up by conservatives. Whoopi spilled the beans herself, but here's where we part ways with her fairy tale. She wants us to believe that what wokeness is the reason Karoline Leavitt landed her job. Oh please, if wokeness were in charge, Leavitt would be handing out participation trophies, not running a press operation. The truth is she got her job despite the woke brigade, not because of it, but hey, Whoopi's revisionist history is why the View is better classified as daytime fiction, full of plot twists, zero logic, and an audience that claps on demand. Well, when Karoline Leavitt heard Whoopi's revelations and remarks, she issued a classic response that only illuminated her poise and intelligence. Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that, and watching this clip I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They liken President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him, they have shamed him, they have lied about him consistently on their show, and it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people. For months we've watched Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg gleefully toss Trump onto the sacrificial altar of convenience, hoping to derail his election chances. It's been less of a talk show and more of a full-blown scene, summoning every baseless conspiracy theory they could find, from wild allegations to manufactured scandals. They threw everything at him. Facts be damned, so it's only fitting that Trump decided to return the favor by slapping ABC, The View's puppet masters, with a lawsuit. Nothing says I'm done playing like a legal smackdown, and now Karoline Leavitt is taking a page from Trump's playbook. She's not just following in his footsteps, she's practically jogging behind him, legal documents in hand, ready to give The View a taste of its own medicine. If Karma were a TV show, this would be the season finale. Yes, I absolutely will. I feel prepared to do that. I've been facing the media now, speaking on behalf of President Trump on the campaign trail for the past couple of years, and we are expecting the media to be hostile. However, if you do talk to a lot of these reporters off the record, they will tell you they look forward to more press, transparency, and access, and while we'll expose the fake news when they are fake, we will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump. I can also assure the American people that they are going to be hearing directly from the leader of the free world. Karoline Leavitt is a breath of fresh air, something we desperately needed after years of press secretaries who were about as transparent as a brick wall. Gone are the days of dodging, deflecting, and answering tough questions with word salad so dense they needed their own translators, unlike her predecessors who treat the truth like an optional add-on. Leavitt actually does her job, delivering facts, calling out hypocrisy, and exposing lies before they have time to fester. She doesn't just spin narratives, she shreds them. Watching her work is like watching a master chef in action, except instead of chopping onions, she's slicing through media nonsense. She's not here to sugarcoat reality or serve up politically correct nonsense. If anything, she's restoring a long-lost concept, honesty, and for that, The View can't stand her. I could commit to telling the truth from this podium every single day. It is a temporary pause in the Office of Management and Budget. It is reviewing other federal funding that has been going out the door again, not for individual assistance, but for all of These other programs doesn't affect. Meals on Wheels or Head Start or disaster aid again it does not affect. Individual assistance that's going to Americans Medicaid is that affected. I gave you a list of examples. Social Security, Medicare, welfare benefits. Food S that will not be impacted by this. Federal pause. I can get you the full list after this briefing again. As I said to Peter, we will continue to provide that list as it comes to fruition, but OM right now is focused on analyzing the federal government spending of their 3,500 arrests I has made so far since President Trump came back into office. Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally? All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals. The administration fired several inspectors general without giving Congress the 30-day legally required notification that they were being fired. It is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch. Karoline Leavitt is doing an exceptional job answering press questions with clarity, confidence, and heaven forbid actual facts, so it's downright mind-boggling that Joy Behar and her